Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more Total Extreme Wrestling. My name is BrendenPlayz. We are coming off the recent No Surrender pay-per-view, which of course was the finale of the Bound for Glory series. We now prepare for Bound for Glory. We had Muhammad Hassan win the Bound for Glory series, which of course now means that he will have an opportunity at the TNA World Heavyweight Champion Christian for the championship at Bound for Glory. Christian has been champion since January, and of course Bound for Glory will take place in October, so about a 10-month title reign for Christian, which has been excellent from him. He's had a lot of great matches, as you can see. A lot of these matches around that 80 to 90 mark, which has been excellent. So this should be a really interesting match. Christian and Muhammad Hassan could very well be the biggest match we've had in TNA's history so far. It's a big main event. Can't wait for it. So that'll be taking place at Bound for Glory. And of course now we do move along to the Bound for Glory pay-per-view, which means we have to try and finalize our rivalries and storylines heading into that pay-per-view. We have established a couple of new rivalries. Let me just kind of throw these ones out for you guys. We'll see if you are, keen or fond of them. So of course we've got Matt Morgan and Tanahashi. We're going to finish that rivalry off at Bound for Glory. We've got Natalya and Tracy Brooks. Now this is just, a kind of a throwaway women's rivalry that we've got going on just to bolster up Natalya, hopefully. We haven't really done a lot with it. We need to probably do a little bit more. We might have them take each other on at the pay-per-view. Melina and Gail Kim, that's been a long-standing rivalry now for us, and we actually need to add in Awesome Kong now, who we have officially called up to the main roster, and we've actually made, I guess, an alliance between Awesome Kong and Gail Kim, so now that is officially taking place. So we'll see how that goes, and now Gail Kim will have to defend, well, against Melina, but she'll have some backup now on Awesome Kong. We're going to do a rivalry between Abyss and Sting. I'm trying to get Sting on the card and Abyss on the card as well, and we just don't quite have the baby faces there at the moment that would warrant a match against, Abyss. We've already kind of explored Jeff Hardy and Abyss, I think. Maybe that was Jeff Hardy and Hassan, I can't remember, but we want to use Sting. It's Bound for Glory. We want to use our big names, even though Sting's performances have been quite poor. But I think Abyss could really carry him to a good match, and we might do that rivalry. So I think that'd be a good one. Still doing Homicide and Sabu. Another hardcore match between the two, perhaps, to close it out at Bound for Glory would be good. And we're going to go ahead and do AJ Styles and Samoa Joe at Bound for Glory. We're going to do this in a bit of a, I guess, a futures match in terms of who's going to be the future star between the two, who's going to be the next big thing between the two. Both guys have got very similar popularity, very similar standings right now on the roster. And this is a bit of a match between the two. Whoever wins might go ahead and get that big push, or go ahead and, start to get more opportunities for that championship, the TNA World Championship. Of course, maybe the loser we might put back in the X Division or something along those lines. But just a match between the two where we kind of explore that situation, who is going to be the next big thing for us there. So, of course, we've still got Team Canada versus the Dutch Dynasty. We'll finish that off. We've kind of really started to develop that nicely, so I'm liking that. We'll finish that off soon. Probably Bound for Glory. America's Most Wanted in Team 3D, of course. Brother Ray was injured by the hands of America's Most Wanted, so they've still been out for revenge. They got a victory at the pay-per-view to retain the championships, but I don't think America's Most Wanted are quite done yet. Of course, we could go ahead and do a big multi-man tag match at Bound for Glory, most likely. But of course, Christian and Muhammad Hassan, and we still have our two X Division rivalries. Motor City Machine Guns. We've got Chris Sabin, Kazarian, Shelley, and Angel, both. Great chemistry between the two, so really good matches for both. So I'm really liking what we're doing and seeing from those two there. So liking that, I'm liking these storylines we've got going on. Would like to maybe have another one maybe there as well. I don't know. It's we do have Goldberg is not doing anything. Lashley. We'll have a look at our main event guys, not quite involved in anything. So, yeah, as you see, Goldberg, Jeff Hardy's not involved, so we might throw Jeff Hardy against somebody. Scott Steiner's not doing anything. We could do Jeff Hardy and Scott Steiner. I think that could be okay. Maybe Jeff Hardy gets a win over Steiner. Jeff Jarrett's not doing anything either. So we've got a few big names that aren't quite involved at the moment. A lot of you guys are saying, what should we do with Goldberg? You know, should we, maybe he beats someone? Yeah, I think that could be a good idea. Maybe, you know, someone said Goldberg and Scott Steiner. I think that'd be great on paper, but unfortunately the match rating wouldn't be excellent because both guys are kind of declining a little bit. I honestly don't know how Goldberg's going to go. I really don't. I don't think his stats are terrific, but he shouldn't be declining just yet. He should probably still have another year left in him. I don't know. It's a real throw of the dice. He could be great or he could be terrible. I don't know. But we're going to find out about Bound for Glory, I guess. But yeah, so that's where we're at there. Few guys are available. Few guys aren't doing anything. Looking at our upper mids, you know, AJ Styles, you got him set, as you said, 70 popularity. Samoa Joe, very similar with about 71, 72-ish. We're going to throw Ron Killings in a rivalry with Alex Skipper as well. And we want to do that. I thought I already had set that one up, but I haven't. So Alex Skipper and Ron Killings will throw on a rivalry as well because they've got some good chemistry. And that's just a bit of something to do an explosion and something just to cover some time. Plus good chemistry. And we also get to test out Alex Skipper and see how good he actually, you know, could be. The potential that he has. So that's that. And yeah, so Monty Brown and not doing much Rhino. That's the thing, we've got a lot of guys now that are in really good positions who have really done well. And we don't necessarily need to have everybody in a storyline. And I know that's a lot of guys missing out, for sure. But not everyone needs to be in a storyline at all times. But we need to just keep featuring them in matches and have them involved elsewhere. But so certainly a lot there at the moment that we kind of need to cover, but you know, maybe not enough time really to cover all of them. It's tough. I don't know. It is tough. But that's kind of where we're at right now, moving forward. In terms of our developmental, we got now Billie Kay. She's now joined developmental as well, so we got her in. MVP's down there as well. So I'm very much so looking forward to seeing how MVP goes in his progression, because I really think he's going to be a major star for us. I think he's one guy that we're going to just kind of give the ball to and really try our absolute best to get there. Also kind of want to get Nakamura moving. I don't know, he's not quite ready yet to move up from the developmental to the main roster just quite yet, but very tempted to start doing something with him and get him going. That popularity is the issue, but his skills are certainly not. So we get that popularity going, he'll certainly be a star for us. We just have to try and get him there somehow. But other than that, that's kind of where we're at right now. Of course, you know, so Bound for Glory coming up next, so we've got 1 month to get ready for the big pay-per-view. In terms of our size, this is where we're at as well. We're getting really close to moving up to that national size, so that's also our next plan for the next number of weeks, is to continue along that path, trying to continue to build on that size and work on that. A lot of you guys are concerned, you know, about these morale issues. I'm not concerned, because this is all you do. You know, if you've got someone who's not happy, just give them some money, and boom. Yeah, we've got enough money in the kitty where we're not really worried too much. So, you know, Goldberg's got some issues as well. Mainly your top guys, you want to make sure that their morale is good. So he's obviously a bit bigger of a name, so he might want a little bit more. We're back to normal now, so we had to, you know, cough up a little bit for him. Sarita, so aka Sarah Stock, we signed her, and now we've kind of brought her in under the Sarita name, which is what her TNA name was. So we're going to put her on the main roster, because I don't think she needs to go down to developmental. She's already been in the business for 8 years, so her stats are already pretty good. We're going to bring her in as a babyface as well, and her popularity is pretty poor alongside of all of our other women, you know, okay, Rebecca Knox for example. But we'll slowly get her there, we'll get her more introduced, and we'll kind of just slowly introduce her and slowly build on her stats there. So that's where we're at there. But yeah, so that's kind of what we've been doing and what we're trying to develop a little bit there. Pretty much that's kind of all we're going for at the moment. One last little thing, I do want to try and make a couple of roster cuts. We've been talking about it quite a little bit, whether or not we'll do any roster cuts, and I think it's time to trim the fat just a little bit. A few names that we're doing really nothing with, and we've got no intentions for. One of them is Simon Diamond. We're going to cut him. You know, he's not terrible, but he's got just the 42 popularity. We've got nothing for him at the moment, and we don't really need him. We don't really need him at all. And yeah, you could say I'll put him in developmental. He's 38. He's old. He's kind of, you know, he's declining. So there's no real need to bring him to do anything with him. So we're not going to push him. Yeah, we need someone to lose to our guys, but we're not even really utilizing him in that role, because we'd rather use someone who's got a bit more popularity to lose. So yeah, we're not gonna need him. Plus, I want to make a bit of room for someone to perhaps get the call up from developmental, or maybe bring in a few different names. So Simon Diamond is gone. I wouldn't mind cutting Johnny Devine as well. I wouldn't mind it. I know he's part of the Canadian stable, but we just don't need him. We just don't need him at all. Decent microphone and charisma ability, that's great, but wrestling ability, not much there. Yes, a manager, sure, but you've got Scott D'Amore, who actually doesn't have as good microphone ability, to be fair. Scott D'Amore, a little bit less, but he's solely a manager, so we're happy with that. And Scott D'Amore does some good work as a manager, whereas Johnny Devine, we don't know. So we're going to let Johnny Devine go. We're going to cut him as well. And again, they're on pay-per appearance deals, so that's not going to really cost us much. Oh, by the way, Cheerleader Melissa, aka just Melissa, we've changed her name to her TNA name, which is Alyssa Flash. I didn't know that she was actually in TNA. I didn't realize. I didn't look into it. So that's her TNA name, so we're going to change it to that. I personally don't like the Flash part. I think Alyssa is fine, but Alyssa Flash is kind of a bit hokey, but that's fine. So we're going to change it to that, and we did that because Melina and Melissa, pretty close, you know, they're pretty similar names. So to kind of eliminate any confusion, we'll take that out of the equation and we'll kind of change her name to Alyssa Flash, just to separate the two a little bit, because I think they were just a little bit too close. And Melina's obviously our big name, and if, you know, Cheerleader Melissa's got, you know, a couple of different names to others, that's fine, we'll just change it there. So we've gone ahead and done that. In terms of releasing anyone else, the only other guy would be Shark Boy, who has very low popularity, just the 30. So we don't really need him either. He's very small in size as well. So, and he's obviously a bit of a comedy gimmick. So we might let him go as well. We might let him go. Shannon Moore, not happy about it. Conan, do we have Conan now? I forgot that I even have him. Do we have Conan? Okay. So he's managing Homicide. Alright, so we have Conan back. I forgot about that. So, yeah, Conan. That's fine. You know, we might... Oh, if Sarita was a heel, she doesn't play a good heel. We would have probably put her maybe in with Conan or something like that. But we'll leave that. So no, we'll let Shark Boy go. I don't care if they're mad. I don't really care about them too. So Shark Boy's gone. Conan, he's not that angry about it, to be honest. He's not that mad. Shannon Moore's a little bit mad. So we still need to turn Shannon Moore as well. So we'll just give him a bit of money to shut him up a little bit. So we'll let a few go. Our roster was getting a little bit big. We've kind of continued to sign a lot of names, and there's a lot of guys we're still not doing much with. You know, Matt Seidel, for example, we'd like to do more with him. Danielson as well. So there's a few guys that we need to kind of think about doing more with, that we just haven't really had the time spot. And Simon Diamond and Shark Boy are barely getting used at all, so there's no real need to keep them on the roster if we're not doing anything with them whatsoever. So we'll let them go, and we'll go ahead and get ourselves ready for our next show as we continue to prepare for Bound for Glory. And just think of anything else to kind of show you. I don't think there really is, so we'll go ahead and advance to it. So we've got Explosion and Impact, of course, and no backstage dramas, which is always nice to see. We might go ahead and start working on a few different regions. We don't really feature too much. You can see the last time we were there was in June in the Mid-South, for example. June, August, July. We've been a little bit slack. That's in April in Puerto Rico, but Puerto Rico is difficult to do well in, so we kind of don't go there. But we'll definitely need to go to Mid-South more. So we're going to go there and pick the best venue. And we're still going to get 7,000 fans apparently, which is still quite big. Where are we going to get in Southeast? Something really nice. Yeah, 10,000. So we really are drawing a lot of fans at the moment, which is excellent. A lot more than TNA ever could do. So we'll get this show on the road. Okay, so let's take a look at the results of Explosion. And we had MVP in action. We wanted to test him out to see how he went, and we actually got in Eric Rowan for the match. We hired a local in, and MVP won, and he had a performance of 59. So not terrible. Not terrible. He's improving his performance skills, which is good. It's good to know he's still improving. So it's not bad. I mean, I'm not too worried about that. A 59 rated performance, considering he's got 39 popularity as well. So more popularity, the better his performances will become. But that's pretty good. That's not too bad at all from MVP. Not great, but I feel like he will improve on that. So a good opportunity to kind of get an idea where he's at right now, and I'm not too worried about that at all. To kick the show off, we had a video promoting Goldberg, and obviously we now know we're going to debut him at Bound for Glory, and it's decided we're going to do that. So we're going to run some vignettes over the next 4 weeks, hyping up Goldberg. Then we had Eric Young take on Marufuji one-on-one. We gave Eric Young the victory thanks to a managerial interference by Scott D'Amore. And Marufuji 76 performance, which is good to see. 73 rated match. 54 rated promo from Tracy Brooks, hyping up the match against Natalya. We had Beth Phoenix go one-on-one with Alyssa Flash. We wanted to test these two out to see where they're both at right now. And certainly Beth Phoenix and Alyssa Flash, very even between the two right now. And pretty good match as well, 62 rated. So we gave Alyssa Flash the victory. Matt Morgan promo on Tanahashi. Then we went ahead and just did a 10-man tag. We put everyone involved. We wanted to cover all of our storylines this week because I knew that we're not going to be able to cover all of them every single episode. And certainly we want to start a lot of new storylines on our Impact show today. So to kind of counter that, we put a lot of our storylines, we put 4 or 5 storylines in one match so we can advance them all. So Truth, Angel, Morgan, Sabu, and Kazarian took on Skipper, Shelley, Tanahashi, Homicide, and Sabre. Now, I just realized I made a mistake. I put Morgan and Tanahashi on the wrong side. I kind of quickly went through this and did that. A lot of names to deal with, so I kind of made a mistake there, but that's okay. Maybe it brought the match down a little bit, but it doesn't really matter. 80 rated match overall. Still kind of achieved what I wanted to do anyways. So, yeah, the best performer in the match was probably Homicide with 87. Saban was good as well. Actually, Fallen Angel, 89 with the best performance, so he was the man. And we gave the heel team, Skipper, Shelley, the victory, etc. Well, Tanahashi's on that too, but yeah. So we gave them the victory, and probably the worst performer was Sabu, 67, but Skipper was 64. So that's why Skipper's not been pushed that heavily. He just can't really seem to get the performances going. Overall, 78 rated show, so yeah, a little bit of a mistake there, but that's fine. That tends to happen when you deal with 10 names in one go. You tend to kind of type in the wrong name once or twice there, but that's okay. But we have Impact now, and you do notice we have added our new storylines to the side in the bottom right hand corner of your screen as well. So we actually are going to go ahead and do Jeff Hardy and Scott Steiner. So we're not going to do Jeff Hardy and Jeff Jarrett because they actually have terrible chemistry between the two. We've done the match in the past, awful chemistry between the two, so we can't do that. And Scott Steiner, just coming out of a world title feud, I think he deserves something. And we, look, if Jeff Jarrett has a month off, that's okay. Yeah, he misses Bound for Glory, but we can't get everyone on the card, so that's that. But maybe we could do Lashley and Jeff Jarrett, to be fair. We have that as an option, so maybe we'll think about starting that up next week. Depending, we get Paul Heyman. I think we get Heyman in a couple weeks or so maybe we could do that. Or maybe we could just do that after Bound for Glory. It's not a big deal. I don't know. We can't really get everyone on the card, so we can't fit them all in. So, alright, we'll go ahead and get this show underway. Okay, so let's get into the show. We had another pre-show match for MVP, had a match against Lance Hoyt. We actually gave MVP the victory over Hoyt, but we did keep Hoyt strong, so he's not going to lose too much popularity, but we gave MVP the victory. MVP 56 rated performance, Hoyt 49, so that's why we're probably thinking about getting rid of Lance. He's just not really good at all. But yeah, so another okay performance by MVP, and just another opportunity to see what he's all about. And we kick things off. Here we go. This is it. The feud I have been waiting to do since we started this series. Hassan and Christian Cage, 100 rated segment to start off the rivalry. Hassan basically coming out to brag about, hey, I won the Bound for Glory series, it's time to get my title shot. Christian coming out, interrupting him, and went back and forth between the two, and to kick things off. So I guess a bit of a way just to start this rivalry off, and it started off very, very well. Alright, next up we had New Age Outlaws and the TNA tag team of Test and Albert, and Test was the weak link. And yeah, he certainly was, 67. But hey, that's actually not too bad for Test. 67's not that bad for Test. That's better. Absolutely better by Test. A-Train 88, 83 and 82 by Billy Gunn and Road Dogg. So, that's fine. That's good. We did this because I have felt a little bit bad. I haven't really used the New Age Outlaws that well. 3D and America's Most Wanted has been my main teams. New Age Outlaws being my number 3, and now Test and Albert probably up there as 3 or 4 as well, so debatable. So I haven't really used them that well, to be honest, and I'm a little disappointed in myself that I've kind of done that, so I want to try and feature them a little bit more, but they did lose, of course, to this match, because A-Train's popularity is just a little bit higher. We don't want to sacrifice that. Scott Steiner cut a promo on Jeff Hardy, and we're going to have those two go one-on-one on tonight's show, and obviously that's the feud we want to do. But we're going to see how it goes tonight. I'm a bit of a tester. And then, of course, another music video promoting Goldberg. We did Awesome Kong versus Jazz. This was Awesome Kong's debut. And it was a heel versus heel match. We did this because Jazz is really the only woman I want to sacrifice right now. And, Awesome Kong needs a bit more of a popularity boost, in my opinion. So Jazz is the one. And her gimmick, we gave her the Nation of Violence gimmick. I think that's her default gimmick, so that's what she kind of came with, which is basically she'll destroy anyone, doesn't care who it is, she'll just beat the crap out of anyone. So only an average rating, that's not bad. Her performance in the ring was 59. That's not terrible. That's pretty decent for Awesome Kong compared, considering where she's at. So that's pretty good. Jazz 46, not terrible, but not great either. 50 rated match. So we gave her the debut. We gave her start. Samoa Joe, 89 rated promo. He cut a promo on AJ Styles. We're not going to have anything else between the two in the show because we just didn't have time. But we wanted to try and do Samoa Joe just cutting a promo on AJ Styles. Basically saying, hey, I'm the future. I'm the next. I'm the next big thing. So we'll kind of start that feud off there. We did Kazarian and Austin Aries one-on-one, 75 rated match. Chris Sabin came in and accidentally interfered, and just to continue that as well. We then did this. Wow, another huge segment, 100 rated segment. Wow. Okay, so Biss is in the ring and he challenges the Icon Sting for a match at Bound for Glory, and two of the big names here in TNA. Biss comes out, challenges Sting. Sting accepts. And 100 rated segments. So we're going to get a lot of great segments out of Sting in terms of on the mic. In the ring, not so much, but I think, like we said earlier, Biss would really carry Sting in that ring and have a good match. I'd say at least 85 rated, I think. If we can get the storylines really well and get the segments going well, we might be able to get the most that we can out of this match. So, great start. Great start. Melina and Tracy Brooks went one-on-one, 78 rated match. So good. So good. And obviously Tracy Brooks getting very close to leaving us. So Melina needed another victory. After losing it at the pay-per-view No Surrender, we wanted to give Melina a victory just to keep it going. We had Gail Kim on commentary as well. And we also had Natalya come in and attack Tracy Brooks and costing her the match. So we gave two storylines, a continuation there in this one matchup, and a good match as well. And because of it's such a good match, it did boost both storylines, which is great. Fallen Angel promo on Alex Shelley as well. And we had our main event, Scott Steiner and Jeff Hardy. So, 75 rated match. And this is going to really bring down our show after a couple of great segments. We're not going to have a great show overall. Both guys lacked in psychology. So that's disappointing. We did make it a car crash, which I don't know if it was the right call. We made a car crash. It didn't quite deliver, 75. We gave Jeff Hardy the victory, and afterwards we had Scott Steiner beat the crap out of Jeff Hardy because he lost. And that's something Scott Steiner would do. So he beat down Jeff Hardy after losing. 90 rated segment there, so just kind of, brings it back a little bit. But not a great match. But I wasn't expecting brilliance. I was maybe hoping for maybe 82, 83. 75 is a little disappointing. They could probably do better. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe they can't do better. But there you go. 85 rated show overall. From where we were going with our big segments, we could have really ramped that up a little bit with a stronger main event, but we missed out. That's okay. Overall, I'm happy with that. So 85 rated. You can never complain with an 85. Let's be honest. That's a good show. So we pretty much kickstarted, I think, all of our rivalries. I think we've got through all of them. I don't think we missed out any. And we covered a lot of them on Explosion as well. So we kind of saved ourselves a little bit there, and it was kind of covered everything this week. I don't know how we're going to go next week. We can't do another multi-man match next week, so it's going to be a little bit more of a challenge next week to cover them all. 3.65 rating for Impact. And Christian Case thinks Lance Hoyt's going to be a star, in my opinion. He's worth pushing hard. Well, I don't know about that, Christian. I don't know about that. I think, if anything, we're going to let him go. But there you go. Christian thinks he's worth investing in. So is Christian right? I don't know. We're going to bring in Chantel Taylor. I think her name was Taylor Wilde. Is that right? Something like that. Now, she wouldn't go to developmental. We don't have any plans to bring her to the main roster right now. And we're also going to bring in Cherry Bomb, who will go to the developmental and put her as a heel, I think. And I think that's Ali right now. So she'll go down to developmental. That's fine. So that's where we're at right now on our show. I just want to kind of check a couple of things as well. With our big segments, I want to see if anyone really made any changes. Not much movement there. So no, but Muhammad Hassan, definitely in the 90s right now. Hassan is our biggest star. Absolute big star. He's so good. So happy with that. But what about Sting? Did he kind of bump up a little bit? Yeah, Sting's doing okay. Not a lot of wins for Sting. Not a lot of wins. So let's have a look. He's had 7 wins, 7 losses. He was winning quite a lot. We protected him very well for quite some time, and then we realized that he sucked. And we kind of have him making him lose ever since. But yeah, so that's where we're at there. And Awesome Kong, that's what I wanted to check. Awesome Kong with her win. Didn't really move much. A small little movement. I don't know. Not much. So even though she won and she beat Jazz pretty comfortably, I think Jazz lost, but Awesome Kong didn't really gain. So bit of a miss there. But that's pretty much all we've got time for this episode. And the episode of SmackDown from WWE, only 80 rated. Batista defended the championship against Randy Orton as well. And Batista's going very, very well. Still haven't had a title change at all in WWE. They're still the same world champions that were there last time. So from the beginning, so Batista's held the belt for over a year and a half. So has John Cena. It's crazy. But I guess Christian's actually held the belt for nearly a year for us too. So we're not that much better. But there you go. That's pretty much all we have time for, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed this episode of TW. Lots of new rivalries. Lots of big things happening. We might even squeeze one more rivalry. I think Lashley needs to get himself involved as well. So I would like to get him doing something. And obviously with Paul Heyman coming in, we're going to put Heyman and Lashley together. I think that could be a terrific combination. So we might need to start pushing Lashley pretty hard indeed. We need to find him an opponent. Probably Jeff Jarrett might be the man. We'll just have a quick little look before we go to see if they have had a match. They probably have had a match between the two, to be honest. And let's have a look. I don't think so. We can type in Jeff Jarrett, and no, they've had a multi-man match, but they haven't had a one-on-one matchup yet. So we don't know if the chemistry is good or bad just yet. We could run that on the house show circuit to test it, but we want to kind of get the rivalry started next week. So I don't know if we'll find out in time beforehand. But we'll leave it at that, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you again for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all in the next episode.